Good afternoon, everyone. And before we start this session officially, I can see there are a lot of participants who are still joining. So we'll give another 5 minutes to all your friends. In the meanwhile, can I have in the chat box, can you all let me know that from which part of India are we connecting? कहाँ से आज बच्चे यहाँ आए हैं? मणिपुर, पंजाब, Delhi, Chhattisgarh, Noida. Okay, now my chat box is going bonkers. Rajasthan, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Assam, Uttarakhand, Telangana, Gujarat, Gujodhpur, Dehradun. Amazing. Goa, Kolkata, Bangalore. Somebody just said Afghanistan also.
Wow, that's interesting.
Kharagpur, Chennai. Amazing, amazing. Great. Still getting lots of states coming up on the chat box. So thrilled I am to see that I have champions who have joined us from every part of India today. So this is the beauty of India, having the diversified audience and diversified culture that we have. So without further ado, a very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for joining us for the 11th fortnightly session organized by Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform. I, Arika Mathur, convener of CAMP, will moderate this session today. So today we have with us Dr. M.R.K. Menon, advisor in STEM and Aerospace for TechDice Aerospace Private Limited, Mumbai, Mr. Rashish Mittal, Project Director of CAMP, Mr. Amit Shukla, Head Capacity Building Group, and my fellow champions. I welcome you all. Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform is an initiative and knowledge alliance of CSIR, NISPER, that is National Institute of Science, Communication and Policy Research, Ministry of Science and Technology, with industrial partner NCPL. CAM believes every student is blessed with a core talent and aims to bring out the best in them through this platform. I would like to inform you that CAMP organized its first scientific excursion at CSIR, Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, IGIB, in New Delhi on 8th of September 2022, where more than 150 participants, including students, parents, and teachers, witnessed the zebrafish facility, transmission electron microscopy, and scanning electron microscope. It was a wonderful experience for every one of us. So CAMP is back with the 11th fortnightly session sharing, knowledge sharing session of the year 2022 on aerospace as a hobby and career. Aerospace engineers design primarily aircraft, spacecraft, satellites, and missiles. Aerospace engineers are employed in industries in which workers design or build aircraft, missiles, system for national defense, or spacecraft. The work primarily for firms that engage in manufacturing and analysis and design, research and development, and for the federal government. As we can say, aerospace is beneficial for the society. So before we go ahead and invite our special invitee here, please do not forget to give feedback about this workshop at the end of the session so that we can keep improving our content. The feedback form can be shared in the form of a video or in the form of a Google form. The link will be shared in the chat box. Also, stay tuned till the end of the session to participate in the fortnightly quick challenge where you can answer a simple question and be the lucky winner of the day. The winner will be selected randomly and based on the selection criteria defined in the participation form. Also, please share your question and answers in the chat box, which will be taken up in between and after the session by Dr. Menon. So we hope, and I really hope that you will enjoy this session today. I now invite Dr. M.R.K. Menon He's specialized in STEM and aerospace education. He lived, studied, and worked in New York City for 20 years before returning to India. In the last 15 years, he has trained more than 1 lakh students and more than 200 teachers in 7 countries. He has also trained teachers in STEM-based teaching method. He's president of the Model Rocketry Society, advisor of Aero Club of India and Aero Modeler Association of India. His life goal is to create 5 lakh good STEM trainer jobs in developing countries and to promote a STEM-based education in society. So I now request Dr. Menon to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, Arita ji. I hope you can all see me and hear me. My name is Dr. M.R.K. Menon. I'm stationed in a beautiful place called Cochin. You might have heard about it. Cochin International Airport is somewhere in the middle of Kerala. So I don't see anybody from Kerala. I was looking at the answers like who is from where. But I hope some guys from Kerala are also there because they are basically mad after anything to do with space. A couple of months back, ISRO conducted a program. It was not an ISRO program, but it had to do with ISRO. And we had 3,000 crazy Malayali guys, of your age tuned in. And it was great to see. Oh, yeah, I see Arvind Krishnan from Kerala. Good, very good. So my name is Dr. Menon. I'm 66 years old. I live in Kerala, but I travel all over the world. My subject is aerospace. And very clearly, she brought out, the person who introduced me very clearly said what aerospace is. But I'll just give you a small idea. Like in my times, we never said aerospace. We said aeronautical engineering. So what is that? What is the difference between aeronautical engineering and aerospace? Today, most of the engineering colleges, they offer a program called Aerospace. It's for 4 years and you get a BTech or a Bachelor of Engineering degree, depending on which university you are. So after +2, if you study for 4 years, you can finish your bachelor's degree in engineering with a specialization in aeronautical, which means basically designing, building and flying airplanes, helicopters and gliders, which normally fly, below 65,000 feet. When you travel from Delhi to Bombay or something like that for example, in a Boeing 737 or in an Airbus, you're flying at a height of, you might have seen 38,000 feet. Sometimes inside the cabin itself, there is a map and there's a display that shows you where the aircraft is, where it's traveling, at what height it is, and things like that. So 38,000 feet means approximately 11 to 12 kilometers altitude. Fighter planes, the smaller fighter planes like Rafale and all, they can go 55, 60,000 feet. After that, you need a serious supply of oxygen and all that. So that's a different ball game. So when we say aerospace, then we are talking about all the things we just talked about, aircraft and gliders and helicopters and fighter planes. And then we add all the fun stuff like the International Space Station, like satellites, like the things that the space shuttle, things that are going to take us further and further into space. So now the question is, what is space? So the average person, if you ask the person what is space, they will just look at the sky and say, that's space. That's a good answer. The correct answer is if you stand on the ground and you just draw a vertical line straight up like that. Okay, let's say you have a long ruler and you draw a straight line up at 100 kilometers. If you draw a line parallel to where you're standing, that line is called Kármán line. K-A-R-M-A-N, Kármán line. Von Karman was a very famous American scientist. So they named that particular juncture or interface as the Kármán line. So 100 kilometers from Earth, the space starts. But NASA, you've heard about, you all heard about NASA. NASA says that for them, space begins at 92 kilometers. Rest of the world says space belongs at I hope you can hear me. I got muted somehow.
Yes, yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, because I just got a message saying I got muted. Anyhow, if you're standing on the Earth and if you draw a straight line up, and then beyond that would be like 100 kilometers, that would be the Kármán line, and beyond that is space. Now, what happens is As you go higher and higher, it becomes darker and darker, and the blue color of the sky vanishes and it becomes black. And that's the time when you really feel you are in somewhere else, a different planet or different level of thinking, or out of this world the way you see it. I once met a scientist from ISRO, and he said that, sir, space begins at 160 kilometers. So I asked him, why is that 160? World is saying 100, NASA is saying 90, you are saying 160. So he said, by the time you reach 160, it becomes really dark. So that was also a good explanation. So this is just an introduction to space. The topic given to me is as a career and as a hobby. I'm one of the lucky guys where I have made my hobby my career. So what is a hobby? A hobby is something that you do in your spare time when you want to relax. You want to use your mind and your brain and your hands and do something creative that is relaxing, nothing connected to your studies. That is a hobby. So what is a hobby? Stamp collecting, electronics, gaming. You can make electronic projects, coin collecting. These are basic hobbies. But the real fun hobby starts when you take up something like woodwork or robotics, or even if you take up aero modeling or model rocketry. So when I was young, of your age, in grade 6, I started aero modeling. And from aero modeling, I went into rocketry. From rocketry, I went into drone technology. From drone technology, I went to space technology. From space technology, I've gone into astronomy now. So I have somehow made my world, the job that I do on a given day, like I'm sitting and talking to you. The job that I do on a given day is to interact with students in grade 6 to grade 12 all over the world, and I talk to them about aero modeling, about space, about drone technology, about model rocketry, and I'm going to show you all these things. Everything that I'm talking, I'm going to show you. For example, right behind me, you can see an RC aircraft. Beautiful aircraft. So I'm going to show you how you can build it, how you can fly it. You know, it's so beautiful it is. See how light it is, but it's strong. It's got a lot of electronics in it. And so we are going to learn all these kind of stuff in this program. I also build aerospace museums. In Kerala, we have three museums. One museum is in Chennai, and another museum is going to come up in Dubai very soon. So a lot of my time is spent in organizing competitions in rocketry and aero modeling and drone technology. A lot of my time is spent in helping students to do project work related to the maths, physics, chemistry they study in the class. And a lot of time that I spend is spent actually in promoting the subject. For example, I would like to, actually thank all the officers of camp. I have all their names: Amit ji, Vishakha ji, Aritha ji, and I also see our friend Ashish ji, who actually invited me to this program. So this is my life. So I've converted my hobby into my career. So every day, 4 to 5 hours, I'm taking classes for students like you all over India, and mostly my students are outside India, mostly in the UAE, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and then from there it goes on to Bahrain, to Kuwait, to Qatar, those countries, and now students are joining me from Finland and from Japan. Now the question is, why do these students come to me? That's a very important question. Is it because I have knowledge, or is it because there is some magic in my class? The real reason why they come to me is because we have perfected the art of teaching aero modeling, aerospace, space, drone technology, rocketry online during the COVID times. So during COVID times, I was based in Abu Dhabi. I taught in the British International School there. It's called the Al Basma British School. I also taught in Ajyal International School and Avalon Public School. These are all big schools there, where I used to go to the school, and there would be 40 to 60 children in grades 6 to 9 or 9 to 12, and they would learn how to build and fly model airplanes. So that is my background. I see a lot of questions coming up here. We will take these questions towards the end. Let me just give you the knowledge that you need to get, so that you know what you want to do in life, whether you want to go for aerospace engineering or aeronautical engineering, you want to study in India, you want to go outside India. That means most probably you'll go to United Kingdom or British or Britain, or you go to America. This is two countries where you go for aerospace, right? India also, we got fantastic programs in aerospace. Jain University has got one, that's in Bangalore. Then we have a college called Petroleum Institute in Dehradun. They are very good. All the 5 or 6 IITs, they have great programs. And then we have a fantastic program run by ISRO itself in Trivandrum. Somewhere in the middle of this program, you're going to have 6 or 7 quiz questions. So I welcome my colleague Suksham Sharma. She's based in Punjab, and she basically is a teacher herself with 5 years of experience. She's a postgraduate in physics. Now, somebody asked me, what is my teaching background? I'm actually an MBA in finance, and after that, I studied museum management in New York, came back in the year 2008, and I started teaching aero modeling to officers of the Indian Navy for the Naval College in Naval Base Cochin. They have an MTech program, and they needed somebody to teach them how to build a plane, how to put a camera in it, and how to make it fly. So this is basically my background. And recently, about a year back, I got my doctorate in the teaching of STEM, which means science, technology, engineering, and maths. And in STEM, I got specialization in teaching rocketry. All right. So we will take all your questions in the end. And believe me, I am in no hurry. I have all the time. Only thing, so many messages are coming on the chat group. It is very difficult to read all these questions, but we will answer all the interesting questions, any questions that you have as a doubt. So let me just start with a simple subject, aero modeling. So to design, to build, and fly a model airplane, that is called aero modeling. So how do you do that? For that, you need to have something like this. You see, this is an aero modeling kit. When you open this, you get all the parts needed to build and fly a model airplane. Now, this entire program today is all about aerospace as a hobby and aerospace as a career. If you have aerospace as a hobby when you are young, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then definitely this is going to become your career also. In my case, it has definitely become my career. A very interesting thing, when we come to rocketry, I will tell you a few interesting things that we are doing. So when you open the box, you will get all the parts, and with those parts, you can make model aircraft. Let me show you a simple one. This one is a model of the Rafale fighter aircraft. You know, the Indian Air Force has purchased now 26 or 28 Rafales from France. This is the world's, I would say, top 3 fighter aircraft. India is very lucky that we have it. And then from there, you learn how to make 3D models. And eventually, this is actually a Cessna 172. It comes in a box with like 30, 35 parts. There will be a small booklet, and the booklet comes with the model. It shows you how to assemble it. And these are non-flying models. You want to make flying models? I'm going to come to that also. So this is the beginning of aero modeling, making simple models that will cost about, I would say, 600 rupees. All the way you can make models like the one I just showed you. One behind me is costing about 25,000 rupees. And then I got some really big models on the floor, which I'll show you. Those are really expensive. But then you have to look at it as the king of all hobbies. When you look at all the hobbies in the world, aero modeling is the greatest hobby, because inside aero modeling, you have electrical engineering, you have electronics, you can even bring computer science, you have chemical engineering. Everything falls into electronics, mechanical engineering, everything falls into this particular slot called aero modeling. From aero modeling, you can then progress to RC aircraft, radio control aircraft. So in radio control aircraft, the main thing is you need a transmitter. This is called a transmitter. Now this transmitter, the one I'm showing you, costs about 6,000 rupees. But the ones that the professionals use, like I don't take part in aircraft competitions because I'm helping the kids take part in the competitions. But if you're taking part in a world-class competition, I'll show you some slides. Then you will need to invest in transmitters that cost like 15,000, 20,000, even 50,000. Even I have friends who have paid 1.5 lakhs for this kind of a transmitter, where the plane is flying like 500 meters, 1,000 meters away from you. Like you are in a football field, or you're in a cricket field where the cricket pitch is there, you're standing there, and the plane is flying around the boundary line, like the perimeter. So you can see the plane at all times, you can control it, you can take off, you can land, you can do somersaults, you can go up, down. Whatever a real plane can do, you can do with that plane. So I'm going to show you a beautiful aircraft, which is lying on the floor right now. It's not heavy, but it's big. I'm sitting in front of my laptop and surrounded by stuff. If I show you what I have around you, you'll think I'm sitting in a museum, right? But I'm a teacher. That's why I have all this stuff. Hold on for a second. Would you like to build and fly a plane like this? I'll say, wow. I'm sure you're going to ask Santa Claus to bring you an aircraft like this. You can even see the pilots. It's an electric powered plane. It costs about 25,000 rupees. It can actually take off and land like a real aircraft. This is actually an exact copy of a commercial aircraft that is available for training purposes. All right. Now, I'm going to gently put it on the floor and I'm going to move on because we have only 40, 45 minutes. There's a lot of stuff you got to cover. So after you learn aero modeling, you might be interested in building rockets. All right. So if you go online and you go to Amazon, you can pick up a model rocket like this. All right. So this one is called the Riptide. Now, problem with this rocket is the rocket itself looks like this. So I've got it assembled here. And this rocket costs about 50 US dollars. So it has to be shipped from New York or wherever it's coming from. And then they will charge you $50 for the courier charges. So that's $100. $100 multiplied by 85 rupees is 8,500 rupees. So you build this rocket and you launch it, you can have a fantastic time, but it's expensive. Now, the problem with this rocket is it needs a special engine. And this engine is sold by Amazon, but you cannot deliver it in India. That means no courier in the world will ship this product for you. That means if you buy the rocket and if you don't get this engine, then this rocket cannot be launched. That is a problem. All right. So now I'm going to show you what do you need to launch this rocket. So you need a rocket motor, and these rocket motors, they'll cost about $2 US per rocket per motor. Once you put the rocket motor here and you blast it, the rocket will go 600 feet, and with the help of a parachute, here's a parachute. Can you see it? With the help of this parachute, it'll dingle dangle like that, and it'll come and fall on the earth. Then what you do is you remove the parachute, pack it up, push it back inside the nose cone, you push it back inside. So it's reusable. And then you have to put a fresh motor here. Now, shooting a rocket is great fun. But then you know what? This whole rocket thing lasts only for a few seconds. Like less than a minute, it goes up, bang, it goes up. And the parachute opens and it starts coming down. But that's great. You fire it 10 times. You'll say, you know what? It's boring now. Now, what do you need to do? Now the fun starts. Now what you do is you start putting electronics into it. All right. So you put electronics into it. You put a small microcontroller, like a small computer, and you put some sensors in it. Now what happens? When the rocket takes off and it goes up, there will be a separation like this. You've seen the James Bond movie, dan, 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 like that. You see those Hollywood style movies? This nose cone will separate, and from inside, the parachute will come out. All right. And there are some sensors here, and it can record. It can record what is the altitude to which the rocket went, what is the temperature there, what is the pressure there, what is the density of air. And when the rocket lands, you can take that small SD card, put it into your laptop, and on your screen, you can see all the data the rocket collected. So now it's become exciting. Now what the rocketry that you're doing is real stuff. So to launch a rocket, you basically need a device like this, which is called the launch button. It works on a battery. It's got 2 wires. And you need something like a rocketry platform. I'm going to try to show you all the things that you need to see. You can see this. This comes in that box. All right. When you spend $50 and $50 for the transportation, you get all this. So that rocket is actually kept here. Let me just show you how it's kept here. Here there is a safety cap. You see the safety cap, so that you don't fire it by mistake and it goes and hits somebody in the eye. So this I'm going to just show you now. Give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about the phone call. Let me just shut it off. All right. I hope you can see it. You can see the rocket, how it's sitting. This is called the base platform. It sits on the base, and now you're connecting electricity, 3 volts or 6 volts. In my case, I'm using 12 volts, which I'll just show you. So now the rocket will blast off, and this is called the launch rod. So it goes vertically straight up like that. I hope you have understood it. And this is called the back plate. so that all the smoke that is coming out will not burn the grass. Like if you're in a field and the grass is dry, you can set up a fire. So to avoid that, you need a launch platform. Now, all this is very expensive, correct? So what I did was I created Indian style rocket. All right. So I supply rockets in a small box. And when you open this box, you will get all the parts needed to make a rocket like this. You see this? This is made out of balsa wood. And you know the Diwali motors. Have you seen Diwali motors? This is the Diwali motor. So I take this motor out and I do some magic to that. And that's my secret, which I will teach you. All right. In the next class, I'll teach you how to take this Diwali rocket motor and fit it inside here. So this fellow can now have a motor like this. I don't have to depend on America. I don't have to depend on Russia. I don't have to depend on anybody. Mera Bharat Mahan hai. This is called Jugaad. We take the rocket motor that is part of the Diwali launch rocket and convert it, and we just push it inside this like this. It fits exactly into it. Then you set fire to it or you launch it using something like this. Now this is American, it's imported, so you can't really use that. So what we use here in India is a 12-volt battery. You see this battery, it costs about 700 rupees. It's got positive and negative, and it develops 12 volts of electricity. So what does the electricity do? The electricity will now be, you see this? This is my launch button, better than what I got from the United States. You see that? And I got a long wire, and at the end of the wire, I have something very special here called nichrome. So when I connect this to the battery and I put the switch, you see the switch here? All right, if I turn on the switch, this will become red in color, it will become hot. This will touch the fuse of the rocket engine and bang, it will go up. It's amazing. So now the question is it as expensive as the American stuff that I just showed you? No. The rocket itself costs only 600 rupees. The engine costs about 60 rupees. The platform, you can use a dalda dabba. You don't have to make something that looks very attractive. The switch also will cost you about 600, 700 rupees. So for approximately 2000 rupees, you can have the same fun that you have with a rocket, the one like I showed you. So this is a little bit about rocketry. Secondly, a week back, those of you who are in Bangalore, you might remember that there was a space exhibition held in Bangalore, in that huge convention center, like 25, 30 kilometers outside the city. So that was the period of the flood, and I was there. And we had a stall there where we had displayed our rocket that goes up to 40 kilometers. So not 600 feet, 40 kilometers. So the ISRO chairman came to our place and he saw it, and we took photographs, and he said, wow, can't believe that you guys are doing this. So we told him this is going to be done by students, not even people like me. So just imagine 6 standard boys, 7 standard boys, engineering college students, 200 of them from different parts of India, rich people, poor people, ordinary people. They're all working together. They'll build a rocket, and we are going to reach 100 kilometers crossing the Kármán line. It has been done only once before by college students working or studying at the University of Southern California in the United States. So we will be the second country in the world where students will actually build a rocket and launch it. So I hope you got a little taste about model rocketry, a little taste about aero modeling, a little taste about RC aircraft. Now I'm going to show you the subject that is so dear to all the students. All right. I'm seeing a lot of questions come, some really good questions. So we'll answer all the questions in the end. All right. Now, as you take a course with me, like I have these courses, our company offers these courses. You will get all those details later from the organizers of this camp. They will collect your names and they will send you the brochures, and we can talk about that later. Now, the thing is, in the course, you learn everything about all kinds of engines that are used for flying model airplanes. So this actually is called an internal combustion engine. It works on methanol and castor oil. It's a mixture of methanol and castor oil. These engines cost anything between 25 and 30,000 rupees. And these are for RC aircraft, radio control aircraft. Now, because these are noisy and they are expensive and they're quite dangerous, we now start using electric. Electric, this motor will cost about 2,000 rupees. This is costing 27, 30,000 rupees. You can see. And with this motor, I can actually fly those aircraft that I just showed you. So that is a good part of it. It doesn't make it doesn't make too much of a sound, and it's very safe, and it doesn't pollute the atmosphere. So children are now going to learn drone technology. Now, this is an amazing technology that students can master in grade 6 onwards, where you build a drone with a camera. It has got a transmitter, it has got a receiver. As the drone is flying, how do you fly the drone? You fly it with the help of a transmitter. Okay, you need a transmitter like that with the left and right stick. Let me just show you. We have the left stick and the right stick. So this can go up and down and left and right. This can go up and down, left and right. So using these, so you're going to hold it in your hand like this, and you're going to fly the drone or the RC aircraft. Now, this drone is actually for speed racing. So you can have a drone racing club in your school. You can have 3 people, 4 people joining and building a drone. This drone will cost you about 25,000 rupees because it has got a camera in it. And as the drone is flying, here's the beauty of it. As the drone is flying, the camera is seeing whatever is seeing in front. It could be a lake, it could be a forest, it could be a building, and it is transmitting that signal back to your goggles. So you're going to be wearing a goggles, and whatever the drone is seeing, you will be able to see in your eye, or you can even see it on your cell phone, or you can have another kind of like a laptop or something. Now you can make the drone fly kind of like automatically. So if you press a button, the drone may be 1,000 meters away from you. It will know that Dr. Menon wants me to come back. You press the button, and there is a program that is activated called RTH, return to home, and the drone will come back and land in front of you. If I tell the drone, go to point X, from point X, go to point Y, from point Y, go to point Z, and come back in 10 minutes, I program it, it can do all that. So you might have seen all the drone exercises, people flying drones in the night, building patterns and like fireworks in the night for decorative purposes. All that is done with the help of these kind of drones. All right. So you know a little bit about aero modeling, you know a little bit about drones, and you know a little bit about rocketry. Now I'm going to come to something called 3D printing and design. Once you've made the rocket, the next challenge is, I'm going to give you a challenge. Say, okay, here is a rocket. I want you to change the nose cone. This is triangular. I want you to make a more realistic nose cone. So you're going to design this using a software, and then you're going to fit it here so that it looks more like a rocket. The next challenge is, I want you to design something like this, right? What is this? This basically attaches to the bottom, and it's called a nozzle. So all the hot gases from the rocket engine will go inside this. It will expand and come out with great force. Some of you students, uh, might be studying in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, Newton's third law of motion, correct? You have studied every action has equal and opposite reaction. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. So when the rocket engine fires, the smoke comes down, all the gases come down, and an opposite effect, the rocket goes up. That's what happens in a real rocket. Now, I want to show you with the help of 3D printing, you can make a PSLV rocket like this. You see this? It took about 8 to 10 hours to make this. And then a little more time if you spend, you can make the GSLV. This is India's biggest, roughest, toughest, meanest rocket. Of course, there is one model even beyond that, but this is our workhorse. All right, so this is all handmade by our students using 3D printers. The last subject that we offer, I don't have it in front of me because that's in the school, is astronomy. There are some students here who would like to observe, like a month back, you could see 5 planets, including the moon. Moon is not a planet, but you can see all the planets lined up. Saturn, Jupiter, you can't see Earth because it's standing on Earth. You can see all the 5 things lined up. So you can do fantastic things even with a binoculars. A decent binoculars will cost you about 25,000 rupees. But if you go for a telescope costing 50,000, you can even see the rings of Saturn. In the Saturn, it has got rings around it. You can even see that. And there are amazing things that students are doing all over India. So astronomy is another subject that we have added. Space is another subject that we have added. It's a 30-hour program, and that's called the junior aerospace engineer. And then we have the senior aerospace engineer, which is another 30 hours. So this is all done by school students during school time and after school hours. So we will give you all this information. So don't ask any questions regarding that, because that will be wasting your time. But you will all get all the information that you need from our team. So now the question is, it's approximately 4:35, 4:40. Um, I will ask my colleague Suksham to entertain you with some quiz questions. Try to answer these questions and let's see how much you know. While you do that, I will take a look at the chat screen. I got 99 plus messages there. I don't know who is asking what. I have no idea. So I'll take a look at some of the questions and see whether I can answer those questions for you now. All right. We must start on time. We must end on time. I really wish I'm going to show you some slides also. So maybe I will just take a quick peek into my slideshow here. Bear with me for a second. And then after that, you can do the quiz. Just wait for 1 second. I guess you can see my slideshow, right? So I'm going to just show you something here. These are not important. Whatever we do in India in the field of aerospace, we pay rich tribute to Dr. APJ Kalam sir. I was lucky I spent 4 hours with him. And he's the person who in 2011, he told me not to waste my time in colleges and that I should go and teach in schools. And that's how I started my career in teaching students like you. My goal is to make you enthusiastic about space, about rocketry, about aero modeling, drone technology, so that you are in the right direction. And I hold your hand, I give you career counseling. That's absolutely free of cost, so that you're always in the right direction and you'll become a future Abdul Kalam sir. Dr. G. Madhavan Nair was our ISRO chairman in 2008. He is a Malayali, he is from Kerala. He is the person behind the Chandrayaan-1, which discovered water molecules on the moon. And that was acknowledged by NASA. Even NASA did not know that there were water molecules on the moon, and Chandrayaan-1 has discovered all that. Kalpana Chawla, she is the darling of the entire world. As you know, she lost her life in the space accident in 2003. I was in New York when it happened. I saw it live on television. It's the worst thing to see a spaceship explode while it is landing. They were just like 25 minutes away from landing in Florida. And while it was flying over Texas, it blew up. So I don't want to go into that. But whatever we do in space, we are honoring people who are as brave as these people. Those people who go to space, they have no idea whether they will come back or not. There is no guarantee you will come back. So many things can go wrong, right? After 52 years, NASA is sending a rocket to the moon after 52 years. And that also, they didn't build it. They asked somebody else to build it. Things like that, okay? Or they collaborated with the building process. So these are Maharathis. These are people who inspire me and my colleagues, the many people who work with me in our company called Tech Dice. Now, this is a very important slide. Why are we talking about space? I saw some people asking questions. Why are we talking about space? The next two slides will tell you. One, the person on the left here, his name is Neil Menon. I am also a Menon, but he is not my relative. Okay. Now, why am I showing his picture? Because 30,000 people applied for the job of an astronaut in NASA for the Artemis mission. 10 people were selected. Do you know what his qualifications are? He's a pilot. He's a trained scientist. He's already worked for NASA for 5 to 10 years. He's a mechanical engineer and he's a medical doctor. No wonder he got selected. All right. The picture in the middle is one of the first people to go into space, Senator John Glenn. He's no more now. At the age of 80, he went back to space again. He's a member of parliament. Like in India, we have a member of parliament. He is a senator in the US government. And at the age of 80, he went to the International Space Station, stayed for 15 days and came back. Just to show how tough these guys are. Even at that age, they are physically fit. The lady on the right is Dr. Sally Ride. I am a big fan of Dr. Sally Ride. She's the first American astronaut who went into space. And she's no more. And like in India, the highest award we give is the Bharat Ratna. In the United States, the country where I belong to, the highest honor that we can give a person is called the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So she got that honor from President Obama. So what happened is, while she retired from NASA, they asked her, what do you want to do? She said, I want to take up NASA space education. And she started a program where she donated a camera to the space station. And you as a student and me as a teacher, we can connect with NASA and they will take pictures of anything that you want from the International Space Station. Because two questions are coming up in your quiz competition. I don't want to talk too much about the about the International Space Station because I'll give away the question and give away the answer by mistake. On the right hand side is the most famous photograph of all times. Correct? You know this: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, three people who went to the moon. But the interesting thing about this whole thing is the Saturn 11 rocket that went to the moon in 1969, the computer on board was not even as powerful as your cell phone today. Can you believe that? Actually, when he landed on the moon, the computer actually failed. Like he was looking out of the lunar module, he was looking at where he's flying, and manually he was flying over craters and mountains and holes in the moon, and then seeing with the eye where to land, and they went and landed. I don't think when they landed, they ever thought they'll be able to leave moon and come back to Earth 10 days or 15 days later. That is the inspirational story behind 1969, the moon landing. India is getting ready now. Chandrayaan 3, again trying to land on the south pole of the moon. 2 years back, we tried to land. Unfortunately, we failed. We almost did it. We failed, but that's not failure. It's actually success. Then we got Gaganyaan coming up, where Indian astronauts are going to space in an Indian rocket. That's another fantastic thing coming up. And then we are going to have the reusable space launch vehicle, RSLV. That is like a space shuttle. It'll go into space, come back, land. Again, we can reuse it. Fantastic things are happening with ISRO. 300 new companies have come up around ISRO. So ISRO is saying, okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that, you can do that. And they have told us, our company, we have partnerships with various companies. So we have a partnership with a company called Dynaflight Aerospace, also called Dynaflight Enable Tech. It's based in Hosur, Bangalore, where we build rockets that will reach space. So we are going to do that program. It's going to be an educational program. Hopefully, we will get recognition from ISRO to do that, and we can involve all you children in that. The picture on the top right is the first Arab man to land on the International Space Station, the first Arab to go into space. And Sheikh Maktoum, the Prime Minister of Dubai, a very powerful and very dynamic Prime Minister, has made a promise that in the year 2030, from UAE, somebody will land on the moon. That's not bad at all. If you look at the top space companies in India, we are at, I think, number 5. Number 1 would be NASA, then we have the European Space Agency, then we have the Russian Space Agency, then we have the Chinese Space Agency, then we have the Indian Space Agency, ISRO, and then we have right behind us UAE. I know your hands are raised, Sunny, so put your hands down. Let me finish this and then we'll take your questions. Now, this is the reason why we chose to take space as a subject and introduce it in schools. You open the newspaper, what do you see? You see Richard Branson has reached space. Jeff Bezos has reached space. Elon Musk has reached space. The Chinese people have built their own space station called the Tiangong, a palace in the sky. India is doing so many different things. So space has caught the attention of everybody. And today people are building hotels in space. People are building residential complexes. They are building a space elevator. So many things are happening in space that India will need maybe 100,000 Abdul Kalams and 100,000 Tessie Thomas. Abdul Kalam, sir, everybody knows. Dr. Tessie Thomas, she is the Director General of Aerospace in India. She is called DG Aviation or DG Aeronautical. Very powerful woman, brilliant woman who came out with the Akash and Prithvi missile. The Prithvi missile can go and hit a target 5,000 kilometers away. So Nari Shakti, you've heard about that? India, today you take an Indigo Airlines flight, you may find the pilot and the co-pilot both are women. There was a time in Delhi when women flew the aircraft, passengers used to come out saying, nahi jana humko is plane mein, darte hum bhai. Those days are gone. Today, you internationally, you see pilots, astronauts, cosmonauts, all women. And the top scientists for the Chandrayaan 2, the top 5 scientists were all women. So I saw a question somewhere. There was a question from some girl. I don't know what exactly the question was because this just flashed by. Basically saying, can girls also join? Of course, you're most welcome. These are our team of instructors. You can see these pictures of all aerospace activities in schools, children of your age. You know what this program is all about? It's about developing 21st century skills. That means you need to know how to collaborate with other people. You need to know how to present your stuff to other people, how to communicate with people, how to think critically, think out of the box, and very importantly, be creative. One more C, I have added is competition. That slide is coming up. I want you to compete with the best students in India. I want you to compete with the best students outside India. So we provide you that platform. So camp will give you all those opportunities. So make use of it. Now, when you are in school, you will be studying Newton's third law of motion, potential energy, kinetic energy, things like that, Bernoulli's principle, escape velocity. They all come under physics, and it's absolutely boring. The way you're taught, it's boring. But suppose the teacher says, let's make a rocket and blast it. Suppose the teacher says, let's make a drone and fly it. Suppose the teacher says, let's make an RC aircraft and fly. And then let's talk about Isaac Newton. Would you not like that class? You will say, wow, what a class that was. The student who sits at the back, not interested in studies, will go and sit in the front because that's what he wants to do. Build and fly aircraft, build and fly drones, build and fly rockets. So that's what this course is all about. Look at the quality of the products. When you open the aero modeling kit, you get all the parts. These are all printed. I have, I can just show you here. These are all the parts are pre-printed. You just have to cut it and assemble it. We show you how to do that. A very interesting thing is, suppose I show you a piece of wood. You're all brilliant young boys and girls. If I show you a piece of wood and say, can you make it fly? Obviously, you'll say, Mr. Menon, you're stupid. You're more stupid than I thought. How can you make a piece of wood fly? So I'll say, bete suno abhi, look at the same piece of wood. I converted into a model aircraft and this will fly. I will show you how to convert this wooden piece into a model aircraft that will actually fly. So that is aero modeling. So from aero modeling basics, you have to go to RC aircraft, and from RC aircraft, you can go to drones. And just imagine building a rocket, flying it 100 kilometers. The whole thing takes about 10 minutes. So you're designing, you're building, you're putting electronics into it, you're firing it, you're watching on the computer where the rocket is. And then when it comes back, you're able to get all the data. When the Americans launched the rocket, after it came back, only they said it reached space. But our Indian rocket, as it is flying, it will continuously tell you like a real rocket, I'm at 500 feet, I'm at 5,000 meters, I'm at 25 kilometers, I'm at 50 kilometers, I'm 100 kilometers. Hey, I have reached space. And here's a photograph from space. I just met some boys from Bangalore who built a camera for Indian rocketry. The camera cost 35 lakhs. Oh my God. I said, wow, this camera costs 35 lakhs. It's such a small thing. I said, will you put it in my rocket? They said, of course, we'll put it on your rocket. You're doing it for India. You're doing it for our children. We'll be with you. Now, these are some pictures of drones and different kind of aircraft that can carry cameras and can fly automated. Automated means you just program it and it takes off and it flies and it comes back whenever you want it to come back. This is the slide on astronomy. This is fascinating. The only problem with astronomy is that all this can be done only in the evening when the sky is dark. You can see the planets, you can see the stars, things like that. Even the International Space Station, early morning 6:37, you can see it. It goes around the Earth several times in a day. So you have to just go to NASA website. It will tell you over Bangalore what day it will come, what latitude, what longitude, exact time. You go there and stand. You don't even need a binoculars. You will see it for like 1 minute, traversing like this very quickly. A bright light moving so fast and it disappears. Why does it disappear? Because the Earth is round, right? So at one point it will curve. So that's why you don't see it. Competitions. India has started taking part in international competitions called CANSAT. CAN stands for soda can. You can see the soda can here. SAT stands for satellite. So you're basically putting electronics inside a soda can, launching it into space, 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters, whatever is the competition height. And when it comes down with a parachute and it gives you all the data. Atmospheric pressure, temperature, density of air. It can even take a video of your school, of your panchayat, of your village, your mall, whatever it is. So Indian school students have not started going for this competition, and I am hoping that I will be able to locate students in different parts of India who can be motivated. Don't worry about the money part of it. All the money part of it comes from the government of India. These are some real stories that you need to be, you should know and be inspired from. This boy on the left, he's in 8th standard. He's already developed a flight controller for a rocket. He's going to be an ISRO director in the next 20 years. The boy at the bottom here, he's got the national first prize for teaching mathematics using a model airplane. This girl, national first prize in science toy making. She built a rocket. I showed her how to make a rocket out of wood, and she made a rocket out of plastic pipe, water pipe. These girls here, the girls in the center, They got 6 of the top 10 prizes in the UAE drone competition, and that was held during the Ramadan period. That was held during when it was COVID time, so they didn't see each other. They couldn't go to the school except one day because they had to shoot the video of them flying. That's the only day they met each other. This girl is the first girl that I have brought into my company as a global aerospace ambassador. So whenever we see a child, boy or girl, irrespective of age, irrespective of family position, irrespective of CBSE, ICSE, whatever that is, if they have done something fantastic, we want to give them a special certificate saying aerospace ambassador. You can see some pictures of here. I work with the largest science programs in the world. It's called the Think Science Fair. This is a model airport, a real model airport that really works. Here you can see me teaching teachers all over the world. This is, I'm brand ambassador for the UAE Space Agency when it comes to outreach programs. All right, it's an honorary position. I'm very proud to be representing them. And this is a gentleman's agreement we have with the Sharjah Space Center to bring children from there to India and to take our children from here to there, because we don't have these kind of museums in India. I build museums. So we have 3 museums in Kerala. One is in Koni, one is in Irnalakuda, and one is in Kodungalur. And the 4th museum is a really big one. It's in school in Chennai, and larger museums are coming up. I also work, you can see here APJ Kalam sir here. This is me. These are my students. I get students from 5 different countries, from the United States, from Germany, from Czechoslovakia, from Brazil, and from France. They come and spend 11 months with me. I send them to local schools, and children from here go to those countries. So that's how you see all these foreign students coming and staying with us, trying to understand Indian culture, how the Indian system works. And our children will go to those countries. But you have to be in 11th and 12th standard. It's absolutely free of cost. If you're interested, I can show you how to get that done. All right. We're almost at the end. This is the last slide. We have a fantastic team of 8 or 9 people with 250 years of experience. We offer free career counseling to students and the parents. It doesn't have to do with aerospace, any subject. If you want help, ask us, and we are happy to help you. So with these few words, I'm going to stop here and hand over the mic to Sukshma, and she will take care of the polling. Participate in it. It'll take 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I'll go and see what kind of questions you're asking me. Sukshma, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please. I'll just look at these questions here.
Good evening, everyone. So let me just remove sir from the spotlight. I'm here. I am. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sukshma Sharma, as already introduced by Dr. Menon to you. And here we have conducted a kind of quiz or a poll for you. Are you all ready? Can we get some thumbs up? And please turn on your cameras. We want to see your lovely faces. Please turn on your cameras. Please turn on your cameras. So the first question is, you will get 10 seconds or at more 10 seconds to answer. That's really, they are very easy. And you have to immediately click on the options. Okay. The first question is, what is the Russian space agency called? Great, what a participation.
Wow, really nice participation and good stuff coming out. I don't know who gave these questions. Some genius gave these questions. All right.
So stop. The answer is Rosmos.
Yeah, I see that guy, Tiwari ji, happy. Yeah, there you, Agastya. Good, very good. Alan also got it right. Great. Actually,
So,
you know, when you do the program for Vedantu, it tells you who gave the answer the fastest. Does this tell you that?
we have to check that.
It's called fast fingers. The moment they do the polling, no, it'll tell you, okay, this guy, you know, Manjot Singh, he did it in 9 seconds. Or he did it in 3 seconds. So let's see whether we can do that.
No, that is not available right now.
Okay,
but we have our next question. All set for question number 2. Question number 2 is, Who founded ISRO?
Oh my God, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. They can't hear me, they're saying. I don't know what happened.
Who founded ISRO? So here we stop,
Oh,
everyone.
everybody knows the answer.
Dr. Vikram Sarabhai is the great scientist behind many of the great projects going up in India right now as well.
Excellent.
Third question in the row is, what is the altitude of the International Space Station? What is the altitude of International Space Station?
Yeah, most of them got it correct. Half the number of people got it correct. That's good. I mean, your knowledge of space and aerospace is good.
The actual fans. So the answer is, it's approximately 400 kilometers
Yeah, that is correct.
altitude, straight, perpendicular.
It goes around the Earth 16 times a day. All right, just keep that in mind. Every 90 minutes, it takes one orbit around the Earth.
Correct. And there are certain timings when it passes certain areas of India. It is like approximately above Rajkot to this morning, 3:33 a.m.
Great. Anybody from Rajkot? It's too late to see it. Maybe you can catch it in the night. I don't know what time it is, morning or evening.
You can check it on internet. There, all the movements are there.
Great. Next question.
So question number 4 is, this sir have told you, if you have paid attention to today's lecture or the webinar or the discussion, you will get it correct. What is the Kármán line?
Good. Nobody was sleeping. Everybody pretty much heard what that was.
Correct. So the results are, so the results are an altitude of 100 ons from Earth's surface. Okay.
It's 100 kilometers. I think there is a spelling mistake somewhere there. It's KMS, kilometers.
Then it is ONS then, so corrected as 100 kilometers. Question number 5 is, what is ISRO Gaganyaan mission? What is ISRO's Gaganyaan mission?
Oh, they got it right. They got it right.
One of the hot topics in Indian space sector.
Yeah, that's good. You can give the answer and we can move on, because 5 o'clock, I think we are overdue now. We need to finish up.
So the answer is to send into space Indian first astronaut in a space vehicle. Last question is, where is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island with respect to ISRO? I didn't knew this when first time I got this question. I didn't knew this.
Well, this question could have been harder if the original name of that island was given.
Correct. So this is a homework for you all. Just go and check what is the original name of the island and why it is so.
All right. So is that the last question or there's one more?
Yes, sir. That's the last question.
Oh.
And the answer is, it's 130 kilometers east Bhubaneswar, Orissa.
It's 130 kilometers east of Bhubaneswar. So it is by the sea coast. It's actually an island. And the original name of this, I'll give it to you, is Wheeler's Island. Wheeler's Island the name was given by the Britishers, I guess. And then when the Indians took over, they converted into Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island. All right. Okay, so that's good. Thank you so much, Suksham. That is well done. what I can gather from here is that pretty much everybody is into space and they know what's going on. That's good. And frankly, I can tell you there are too many questions on the chat box that there's no way I can answer in the time that I have. What I'm going to do is we'll try to make a list of these questions and we'll give you the answers and circulate it in such a way that you all get it on WhatsApp or something like that.
Yes, sir.
So,
Sir, we do have time. We can spare 5 minutes because I can see there are a lot of hands that are raised and
so
are
can you pick
waiting
some
in.
questions? Pick,
I'm just unmuting Shriyansh.
okay, take 5 questions live and I will answer it.
Okay.
So whosoever wants to ask a question, please turn on your cameras. We will give preference to the people who have
Yes,
turned on their
Shriyansh,
cameras.
you can ask.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you for choosing me. And my question is like, what are the Mayday situations in aerospace?
Well, when you say Mayday, Mayday means it normally applies to an aircraft that is flying and something goes wrong. And that is the time when probably they lose communications or they lose power in the engine. So many situations, there could be a fight inside the cabin, or there could be a situation where the safety of the aircraft itself is at stake. So the Mayday actually comes from the aircraft, not necessarily into space. In space, it can happen that if, for example, let's say the space shuttle is trying to land and its wheels don't come out, for example, it could be something like that. Or it could be that the parachute is not opening. They need a parachute to bring that small module back to the earth. The parachute doesn't open. You don't want to even think about those situations, but NASA does all the thinking. They think about all these things that could possibly go wrong and figure out what the answers could be. All right.
Yes, sir.
Stay away
Thank you,
from
sir.
stay away from Mayday.
Uh, Sir, I heard of pan also.
Who is that speaking?
Sir, Shriyansh only.
No, you can't ask 2 questions. Yeah, one question per student.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, who is from your side, like
I'm just giving the other person, Agastya Kashyap.
Shivans, you can't make a
Yes,
rocket at home
yes.
without spending money. It's not possible.
Yes, sir. I was just asking you a small question, sir. Sir, have you ever worked with Mr. Nambi Narayan?
No. He's much senior to me. I'm 66. He's probably 80 years old. No, no. And not only that, I returned to India in 2008. So all these things, it happened, I think, prior to that. I'm not really sure. But I only know 1 or 2 people in ISRO. One is my guru, who is Dr. G. Madhavan Nair, ISRO chairman. He retired as ISRO chairman in 2008. And then I know Dr. Radhakrishnan, who is a fascinating person. He actually donated me a book also. He is the first ISRO person to be selected by NASA to go onto the International Space Station on the space shuttle. Unfortunately, in 1987, we had that horrible disaster of the Challenger aircraft. While the Challenger aircraft took off, within 87 seconds, it burst into flames and all the 7 astronauts died. They were supposed to go on that flight after it returned. Because that thing crashed, the whole thing burned. For 10 years, NASA did not take another flight to the International Space Station. There were no more space shuttle flights. So Dr. Radhakrishnan had to come back. Can you imagine how sad an occasion it is to go all the way, selected, go to NASA, get trained for months of training, and then you go back saying because no more space shuttle flights. So those are the only 2 people I know, and there's one more person I know whom I met recently.
Anya Bhattacharya.
Please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for choosing me. So, sir, my question was that there's a comic called as Tintin. So, in that one of the stories in that comic is that the main character will go on a
rocket way before rockets were actually invented. So, and many of the things are very correct, and some of the things they are not as relevant to what they are now. So, do you think that they can be relevant in the future?
It's an interesting question, Anya. You know, I grew up reading this Tintin. In fact, I know somebody who looks exactly like Tintin, and when we see him, we say, "Hey, there goes Tintin," and Captain Haddock and all those crazy people there, right? Blistering barnacles and all that stuff. So it could be a coincidence that some of the things they mentioned regarding space and rocketry and all 25 years, 30 years, 40 years back came out to be true. So, or is it some? There are many things that are happening like that were predicted thousands years ago. So these things happen. But I would like you to treat it as a comic. It's for you to just disengage with the real world and enter the world of Tintin. All right. So you enjoy reading the comics. Even when you grow old like me, you can still read, you know, you can read all those Tintin comics and Asterix. Remember Asterix?
Yes.
Yeah. Goscinny and Underzoo. Those are the guys who wrote the comic. Yes. Next question, please.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Hello, sir. I'd like to ask that are there any ongoing projects related to black holes or dark matter or even dark energy in ISRO?
ISRO will shoot me dead if I tell you what's happening. So I really can't answer. But the reality of the fact is, it may not be ISRO who's doing all that stuff. Maybe it is Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. So that is the place where I would ask this question. I don't think in ISRO directly they have anything to do with this. They associate with a lot of other scientific agencies like DRDO and all that. So there might be people working on it, all that stuff, but not ISRO. I don't think ISRO is directly involved in that because it's a different part of it. All right, it's a completely. ISRO will not dabble around in astronomy, for example. Astronomy is something else. ISRO is rocket बनाने का है, satellite बनाने का है, जाने को वापस आने का हमको. बाद में जो नाटक चल रहा है चलता है.
So, in the future, is ISRO planning to expand its, apart from building the rockets and actually sending them into space, actually studying it like NASA does? It studies black holes, it sends research papers. The various scientists of NASA, every day there's some new research. They publish it on Twitter or Instagram. So, is ISRO planning to do something like that?
NASA is, I don't know, 100 times bigger than ISRO. I mean, they got unbelievable funding and they got unbelievable spirit. I will just mention something to you that might be interesting to you. In 1962, the US president was John F. Kennedy. I don't know whether you have read about him or not. He was the most handsome looking president I have ever seen in any country. All right. 61, he became president. 62, he gave a famous speech to the Rice University students in Houston. At that time, man had not landed on the moon. So he told the American people that we as Americans like to do the impossible because when we attempt to do the impossible, it brings out the best in us. So I challenge you, he poked his finger at the audience. I challenge you, he was talking to NASA, that be the first country in the world to land on the moon in this decade. In 1963, 64, 69, 70, the decade changed. 61, he became president. 62, he gave the speech. 63, he was shot dead. He was assassinated. I stood there in Dallas at the point where he was assassinated and I cried. I then went to Arlington Cemetery at his graveside. I sat there and I cried. And American people looking at this crazy Indian guy. What does he have to do with JFK? Now, why am I talking about this? I think NASA is not just an American institution. I think it's the world's largest free university because all the knowledge that they have, they are willing to share. The Sally Ride Camp project, the Citizen Science project, just go into NASA site and go into education, you'll get lost, you won't come back, you won't know what to do. There's so much stuff out there. I am a teacher, I gave up reading NASA. It's too fast for me. Too many things are happening. All right, so I hope I have answered your question. ISRO may become like that. It all depends on the willpower of the person running ISRO, which is the ISRO chairman. If he thinks that our job is to educate also, then they will open up the education field. If they feel that our job is to make children enthusiastic about space, they will put money into that also. But the way it's going, it looks like they're not directly involved. They're not directly interested. They are serious scientific people. They want to focus on what is really important. They may say, Dr. Menon, you take care of rocketry competitions. Dr. So-and-so, you take care of space education. Dr. So-and-so, you take care of whatever else needs to be done. I think that's the best answer I could give you.
So last two questions from one from Raghu. Raghu, you can ask your question.
Yes, sir. So you showcased one of the sets behind, and you showcased one of the sets you made on your own. So can you please tell the name of those sets?
Sunny, I couldn't catch. You were referring to something I showed you?
Yes, sir. So
So
one
the aircraft.
made,
The aircraft.
well, one you made and one which is kept behind.
Okay, this one.
Below.
This one is actually a radio control aircraft. It comes in a box. All right, it costs about 18,000 rupees. You have to assemble it. You can assemble it in about 3 hours of time. But making an aircraft is simple or relatively simple. Learning to fly with a transmitter will take you a long time, And some of you will never learn how to fly because your hands and eyes don't coordinate the way you need to fly an RC aircraft. Now, the other aircraft I showed to you, that's also a kit. All right, so that's about 25,000 rupees, the red aircraft, the one that is like here. Hold on. I think you are referring to this guy, correct? I don't know because I showed you so much stuff. That's why I don't know what exactly you're referring to.
The one you made on your own, and then you showed it the Diwali one.
Are you referring to this aircraft?
No, sir, the rocket.
Oh, rocket. Okay. All right. So this rocket, this comes in a box. It's from the United States, so you can buy it online from
The one you made?
Yeah, the one I made. It comes in a kit.
Sir, what is the name of that kit?
Yeah, I don't know where I put it because I have very little space. Things are falling off my desk. Yeah, I got it here. Hold on for a second. Here.
Sir, what is the name of it?
It's called Akshay 1.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Anything else?
Yeah, just last question from Amrit.
I wish I could sit here the whole day and answer all your questions.
Sir, I have a question that I watched the movie Mangalyaan,
Yeah.
and I know that the Mars mission was done in 2014.
Yeah.
But in Mangalyaan, it showed that it was done by stopping the fuel for some time, and the probe or the satellite moved by itself towards the Mars. Was it really happened like that?
You're talking about Mangalyaan or Chandrayaan?
Mangalyaan.
What was the issue that you're referring to? I'm not conversant with it. What is the issue you're referring to?
Sir, I am saying that Mangalyaan, in the movie, it was shown that Mangalyaan was sent towards Mars when with less fuel in the PSLV. So when the fuel used to come and they used to stop the fuel, and the probe or the satellite used to move.
Okay, the first thing is,
That happened really like that only.
first of all, I have not seen Mangalyaan, the film. Okay. Second, films are never the actual story. Film, they try to make it so that it looks spectacular. Accident होने वाला था, Mayday बुलाया, वो आगे इधर से वो कर दिया, ये कर दिया. It may not be 100% accurate as to what actually happened. Do you understand that? For example, if I were to show Chandrayaan 3 movie, Chandrayaan 2 movie, we all know Chandrayaan 2 crashed about 2 kilometers before it landed on the moon, right? Now I can show that movie that the Chinese people stole our Chandrayaan 2. You understand? That some Chinese guy sitting somewhere with a transmitter, he took control over our lander, and that's how it crashed, or that's how it was taken away. That's the filmy version. What really happened, ISRO rarely will say what really happened. They will not openly say that because there are some security issues relating to that. You cannot openly tell the world, you know what, my battery failed, or I forgot to put my battery, so my Mangalyaan crashed, or I forgot to put fuel in it, so it crashed. Obviously, something went wrong, and ISRO knows about it, but they don't normally challenge the film. Even in the this other films that have come, there are people who really understand the subject they know that it's not real what is shown in the film. Film is only filmy, all right? It's like seeing Rajinikanth film. You hit somebody and that guy starts flying, he gets stuck on the wall. Does that really happen? It doesn't happen like that, correct? Okay.
I think so. We are actually short of time, and
I know, I
still I
know.
can see there are a lot of questions raised by our students here. So I request all the students to send us the questions on our WhatsApp number or on our email ID, that is camjsc@cam.res.in, and we will forward those questions to Dr. Menon, and we will we would request you, sir, to you be please
Sure, absolutely sure.
answer those questions. It will be very helpful for our champions here.
जल्दी जल्दी करो, संडे को मैं छुट्टी है मेरा, आप क्वेश्चंस भेजेंगे तो मैं आंसर कर दूंगा आपके लिए.
Sure, sir. And thank you so much on behalf of camp. I would like to really thank you for organizing and sharing such wonderful thoughts and knowledge with our young children here. I can see there are a lot of young aspirers who are wanting to know their career or hobby in aerospace, and it is really inspiring to know your journey. And it was really helpful. I think it'll be very helpful for our students to to walk on your path that you have showed and bestowed on them. They'll definitely achieve something in their life walking
Absolutely,
onto your
absolutely.
path. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. And we will contact the children with the programs and all that. Whenever you get time, you can let them know what are the programs that are available.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Children, before we go ahead to the last part of our session here, our fortnightly session, you know that camp has started a series on achievers, the leaders of tomorrow. And the episode will be live every month, last Friday at 4 p.m. So please do not forget to join us this month on last Friday, 4 p.m. We are bringing another achiever on our platform for a for an interactive session to know their journey, their achievement, so that they can inspire you. I can see there are a lot of questions which were raised by a few students about the Inspire Award. How can they participate, and they can be a nomination for the Inspire Award or the Rashtrapati Bal Puraskar Award. So don't worry. Mark your questions and park your questions in the line, and wait for our achiever series till the time we introduce our achiever, and you can put your question forward to him. He'll be more than happy to answer all your questions. Also, please like, share, and subscribe all our social media channels for the latest updates and announcements. We generally post all the information. In fact, the pictures of the last scientific excursion, which happened on 8th of September, is being posted on our social media handles. So you can go on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and follow us. Apart from that, we want to hear your feedback so that we can keep improving our content. So please fill this quick workshop feedback form, which is there in the chat box, and let us know your thoughts about it. Also, if you have missed any part of this workshop or any of the previous workshop, don't worry. Go ahead to your portal and log in. You'll find the login where you will find the Junior Scientist Club option under your login. You can find the previous recording of all the fortnightly 10 workshops have already been completed by camp. This is the 11th one. So you can find the recording of all those 10 workshops under your login, and you can review, you can go through them time and again where you want to. Now is the time for the fortnightly quick challenge that we have been talking about and introduced in our last session. So now what is the question and why we are doing is, there is a small background to this. There is a small answer. There's a question that you need to answer and follow all the camp pages on social media, so that you can be aware of what camp is doing. You can get latest updates and announcement. You don't have to miss out any of the news that camp is posting. So the objective is that you get updated, you get to know what camp is doing, what is there are in inventions and innovations and science and technology news posted by CSIR or CSIR NISPER. So that is the reason we are wanting you to go ahead and Mark your answer, follow us on the social media handles, and submit your answers within 1 hour of this workshop. So we will close the entries by 7 p.m. and we will announce the winner today itself on our Facebook page. And the Facebook page will only announce the winner of this quick challenge by 8 p.m. You will find the name of the person who has win this lucky draw. Of course, you will have to mark the right answer, and also you will have to go and follow all our social media handles to be eligible to become, to be a nomination in the lucky draw. So please go ahead and do that. We'll wait for your answers. Anything apart from that you would like to ask me, or if you want to question me, I'll give the opportunity to unmute yourself. And if you have any other questions, I'm all open to answer you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Let's announce the winner today on 8 p.m. Ma'am, on which site it will be seen?
So you know Facebook? Do you know Facebook?
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to go to the Facebook and you need to like the, you need to search the page of Camp Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform there. When you go to that page, you will find a new post with the name of the winner at 8 p.m. So you can find the link in the chat box. I will request my team to please share the links of all the social media platforms here in the chat box for our students to access it.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the timing of the winners you are going to tell?
I'll repeat for everybody. The entries are open till 7 p.m. today, and we will close the entries received after 7 p.m. So you can place your answers till 7 p.m. and 8 o'clock we will finalize and we will announce the winner on our Facebook page.
Ma'am, what is the
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. What is the question?
One by one.
Like, will the question be in the
Form.
link?
It is in the form. In when you see in the chat box, there is a form. Can you all see there is a one form which says to win an exciting prize, you need to answer this question with link.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Go to that form
Excuse
and
me, ma'am.
find the question there.
Ma'am, first I go to the chat box. Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Actually,
I
we
would
are
request one by one. Please.
Ma'am, can I start, please? Ma'am, can I start? Ma'am, actually, we are eligible after following all your social media platforms.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Now you will get
ma'am,
the
excuse me.
today
We are excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, from where we can get the aero modeling kit? Ma'am, from where we can get the aero modeling kit?
And for the aero modeling kit and for the any other session that Dr. Menon has informed us today and taught us very wonderfully, camp is very soon going to announce how you can order those kits and how you can participate in any of the advanced version of these programs by Dr. Menon. So give it a day. Wait. Give me a time.
Ma'am, as today we were having aerospace webinar. Excuse me, ma'am.
My dear friends, you will have to unmute one by one, else I will not be able to answer any of the questions. So I'll give the access to all of you. Just raise your hand and I'll answer your question, but simultaneously asking the questions, I will not be able to take it up. I can't hear you, Yashaswini. No, you are not audible, beta. Vedish, you want to answer? You want to ask anything? Ahan, what do you want to answer? A question. What is your question, beta?
Ma'am, my question was, I just submitted the that review link
from the Google form I submitted. So will be considered that I submitted now? You said it will
Yes, the entries are open till 7 PM. 7 बजे तक आप लोग अपने आंसर सबमिट कर सकते हैं एंड 7 बजे के बाद ये एंट्रीज क्लोज हो जाएंगी. सो राइट नाउ इट इज 5:25 till 7. आप लोग अपने आंसर्स इसमें लॉक कीजिए. सारे सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स पे जाइए, उसको लाइक शेयर करिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए एंड देन बाय 8 o'clock we will finalize and we will find one lucky winner and we will contact them.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ishan, what is your question, beta?
I want to say that registration is done and on which day it will be taken. On Google, I'm seeing then it is not coming.
Sorry, what?
That registration is done for Olympiad when it will be taken.
Okay, the exam will happen in the month of December or January. The dates are not finalized yet. You will get the information about the date of the exam very soon on our platform, on social media platforms. Even we will send you messages also. So don't worry, you have time.
Okay, thanks, ma'am.
Nehal, what is your question, beta?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that, like you told that, like for that questions, we have to just send the questions on your Gmail. So, ma'am, can you just send the Gmail on the chat box?
No, the Google form link is already shared in the chat box. Once you
No.
find it.
Ma'am, no, that I have done, ma'am, that for the ma'am, this session, ma'am, those questions you were saying that there are a lot of questions. So, you will just send them to Dr. Menon.
Okay. Vishakha, can I ask you to kindly share the CAM JSC email ID on the chat box so that our students can send their questions which they want to ask from Dr. Menon? It's campjsc@camp.press.in.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you just repeat?
It's KAMP camp JSC. Okay, it's there in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
It's there in the chat box. You can copy and paste. You can send us the email with the questions and we will forward it to Dr. Menon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Yes, somebody from Rajendra Singh wanted to speak.
Ma'am, I have to ask something that if it is compulsory to subscribe your Instagram.
It is not compulsory, but it is recommended. Reason being, we don't want you to miss out of any information on news or updates or announcements that we bring for you. There are a lot of reading material which we post for our youngsters. So it is not just the exam, it is also to keep you updated about the latest news in the field of science, technology, and other fields that we think is important as such a big initiative. So that is the reason we are asking you to subscribe to all the social media channels, because we also post different kind of content on different medias. So that is the reason it is necessary for you to subscribe at Instagram also.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have another question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Ma'am, do you have heard about Inspire Awards?
Yes.
Ma'am, can you suggest me something for that?
For that, what is your name? Is your name Rajendra?
Yes, ma'am.
So Rajendra, what you need to do is on the last Friday of this month, we are bringing one achiever on this platform who has already won the Inspire Award. Okay, so he'll be the best person to guide you. Who you can ask directly questions with him. I'll give you the opportunity. You can post it in the chat box. Please join our meeting on that day. Join our session on that day. I will make you direct in conversation with the person who have already received the Inspire Award. So he will be the best person to guide you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you, everyone. I think I have answered most of your queries. moving on to the last part of this session, and a very warm welcome and goodbye from my side. I would now request Vishakha to please give the vote of thanks.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I, Vishakha, coordinator camp, on behalf of camp team, is very thankful to all of you, parent, teachers, for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, everyone. And if you have further queries, I can see now there are a lot of hands which have raised after me saying goodbye. So please don't worry. Send us your queries at camp.res.in. I will take it up. Either it is related to the session today, or is it related to something else that you want to know about from me. So please post your queries there. I will answer your queries on the email. Right. So thank you. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you so much.